Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Hearthstone Classic stream. I hope you're having a nice Sunday. I am so far. Yeah, this is just another spontaneous Hearthstone Classic stream. One of my friends requested that I play some Control Warrior. So the first thing I'll be showing today, after unmuting the sound, is to show Control Warrior deck. So yeah. And obviously, this is not that original. This concept of the Control Warrior is as old as time, basically. There are many different variations of this deck. I will just show the current one, then maybe talk a little bit about the potential other ways you could build it. So Control Warrior is really is basically just trying to stay alive until you can do some nasty things. So one of those nasty things is playing Alexstrasza and setting your opponent's health to 15 points. Once they are at 15, you try to finish them off in some way. One of the ways you can do this is by, for example, you have a weapon equipped, and then you play Grom Hellscream and combine that with Cruel Taskmaster. So Cruel Taskmaster can deal 1 damage to a minion and give it +2 attack. So if you do that on Grom, you trigger his Enrage, and he will have +6 attack from his own ability and +2 attack from the Cruel Taskmaster. That's a total of 12. So if they are at 15, because you set their health to 15 with Alexstrasza, you can boost Grom's attack to 12, attack them with a weapon and attack with Grom, and that will be game. And then, yeah, you're trying to just stay alive and get rid of threats in the meantime. Obviously, you can kill your opponent in different ways as well, but that's like one of the main ideas. If the game drags on for long enough, you will be able to set up this kill combo. And of course, you don't have to use Gore Howl here. You could also use Fiery War Axe for that. That's a weapon that has 3 attack. So the other stuff is a lot of stuff that gets rid of your opponent's minions, stuff that can give you more armor, more survivability, or more draw, or just board presence to be able to trade or start dealing damage to your opponent in a different fashion. So one of the first card here is Execute, that destroys a damaged minion. We have several ways to make use of this card in the deck that will be apparent, but like one of them is the one that I already showed, Cruel Taskmaster. We have Shield Slam, that deals 1 damage to a minion for each armor you have. So the hero power of the warrior is to pay 2 mana to gain 2 armor. So it's pretty easy for us to gain armor, first of all, but this is not the only way we can gain armor. But a lot of the turns where we're able to, we will armor up, and this enables us to have a very cheap way to get rid of big minions. So yeah, this is probably the main strength of the Controller Warrior, is how easily it can get rid of opponents' minions. These 2 spells that destroy a minion basically only cost 1 mana. They just need to be combined with something else to be able to do that. Then we have Whirlwind, that deals 1 damage to all minions for 1 mana. So again, this can be combined with Execute, but there are a few things about this. First of all, Whirlwind is good against decks with a lot of tiny minions, which is one of the main, which probably would otherwise be one of the main problems with the Control Warrior deck. It still is something that you can struggle with. The Suit Warlock is a very powerful deck, so Whirlwind is great against that. But the beautiful thing is that it has other applications. So Whirlwind can be used to combine with Execute, as I mentioned, but also it can Enrage Grommash. So he will then only deal 10, but that's still a lot and can be useful in some situations. You can also use this in combination with Acolyte of Pain, who makes you draw a card whenever he takes damage. So if you have this on the board, you play a Whirlwind, he will be damaged, you will get a card. We have Armor Smith as well, that says when a friendly minion takes damage, we gain 1 armor. So if we have a big board and all we care about is getting more survivability, in some cases we whirlwind our own board to gain a bunch of armor, and that can be super good, especially against aggressive decks. This deck is kind of a nightmare for face hunters to face, because you just have so many ways to gain more armor and to clear the board of tiny minions. Again, Cruel Taskmaster, you can also combine that with Acolyte of Pain. So you have these little ping effects that can be used both to enable execute, but also draw you cards, but also to gain you armor, but also to make Grom have his +6 attack. Fiery War Axe, the next thing that just is great value. You can play it already at 2 mana, and it basically gets rid of 2 reasonably sized minions for you. You just equip it, kill a minion, and then you have 1 more attack after that because it has 2 durability. So that's crazy good cards. You want to be playing 2 copies, and of course you are taking damage while you're doing this, but since Warrior has the ability to gain armor, you can sort of regain the life that you're losing over time. Then you have Slam. Just deals 2 damage to a minion, and if the minion survives, draw a card. So you can use this to kill a minion, or you can use it to play it on a minion that will then survive. Could be on your own Acolyte of Pain, but it could also be on an opponent's minion. You get the card back, and then you can play Execute to finish the minion off. So that's another combination. We have Big Game Hunter to get rid of our opponent's big minions. This is against control decks where the game goes on for longer, just provides great value later on. Shield Block just gives us 5 armor and makes us draw a card. So this is an easy way. If we don't manage to save up the armor that we want to play Shield Slam, then Shield Block is a super easy way to get there anyway. Then we have Twilight Drake. And here I should mention, Twilight Drake is kind of, it's not an obvious include in this deck. So the traditional way to build this would be to play Core Crown Elite. But this deck is playing it a little more greedy, you could say. So we're playing the Twilight Drake that gets +1 health for each card in your hand. If you get this early and on turn 4, it can just be a very big minion, bigger than you get for just a vanilla creature, which in Classic is the Chillwind Yeti. This guy is a 4/5. So the Twilight Drake will be bigger than that guy if you have 5 or more cards in your hand, which will often be the case at turn 4. So it's kind of ambitious, but if you get to play this on turn 4, it's a really big minion that can trade very favorably against your opponent, and that's why we're playing it. Often you may not spend that many of your cards early as Control Warrior. You may just be using your time to armor up, and then you will be saving a lot of the cards in your hand. So this can be good then. Brawl is a common include, just destroys all minions except 1 on the board, so you can clear the board. Faceless Manipulator can copy a minion, so especially later on we can copy our very powerful legendary minions like Ragnaros, Karen. But another thing about this is, because it's so easy for us to get rid of our opponent's big minions with Shield Slam and Execute, it's kind of easy for us to just copy one of their big minions when they play it, then just kill it immediately, and then it's like we basically stole their minion. We will have a copy of their minion. So that's something cool we can do with this. Only playing 1 copy because this is not always applicable, doesn't really work against aggro decks that well. Very situational, so only 1 and not to be too greedy. We have Karen Bloodhoof. It's kind of self-explanatory, just really hard to get rid of. We can copy it with Faceless Manipulator, so on. Sylvanas is generally great. She takes control of a random enemy minion when she dies, but we can combine her with Brawl if she stays alive, and then if she dies, she will take control of our opponent's minion that survived, if they have any. So that's great. Baron Geddon against tiny creatures or minions says at the end of turn deal 2 damage to all other characters. So he just can clear the board. Gorehowl This one loses at 1 attack instead of 1 durability when you play it. So it's a way where you can kind of systematically chop down all the minions that your opponent is playing. Of course you take the damage, but the idea is we have a lot of armor, so we can just bit by bit kill the minions that our opponent is playing, and we will get a big card advantage over time. That's the idea with this card. Gromay explained, Alexstrasza was explained, and Ragnaros, just big minion, cannot attack, at the end of turn deals 8 damage to a random enemy. Because we're aiming for the game to go long, we want to play a lot of high value legendary minions so that we can make use of our mana. That's kind of why we want to stretch the game out beyond just our kill combo, is we can play a lot of powerful minions. So Ragnaros is one of those. Yeah, that's basically the deck. So let's jump into a game. Later today I'm planning to play some Freeze Mage as well. But let's start here with where is the deck? There we go. Yeah, and let me get some water. Alright. So, Druid tends to be a decent matchup for Warrior, because Druid tends to play a lot of beefy minions. Yes, so Barongeddon is not very useful against Druid. Neither is Whirlwind typically. Shield Slam is usually good. There's some Druids play more aggressive builds, and then maybe you want a Whirlwind, but I don't think so. Acolyte of Pain is kind of nice to have early, so I think I'll keep that one. Yeah, we'll go with this. Right, we draw some pretty late game options. So my mulligan strategy may not be perfect here, but okay, we just pass on our first turn. We can't really do much. And he's just shape-shifting. What would probably be the worst to see at this point is Wild Growth. Then the Druid gets an extra mana crystal, and they can just start playing big minions pretty quickly, and that may be able to overwhelm us before we really have the ability to play our own stuff. Okay, so this is already tricky, because I could armor up and shield slam this Earthen Ring Farce here, but then I'm sort of wasting a perfectly fine shield slam on a 3/3. There's also the option to just play the Acolyte of Pain. But then we're only getting a card from the Acolyte then, because the Farseer can attack it. Yeah, so how do we want to do that? I think I want to spend the Shield Slam in this case. Another option is a Big Game Hunter and then try to have these two minions trade. But this is pretty vulnerable to Keeper of the Grove. So I think I will Shield Slam, despite how bad it feels. It's not great, but yeah, keeping the armor is nice for the second Shield Slam.
We hunger for vengeance.
Okay, and now after this I'm happy with my decision, and especially after drawing another Shield Slam. But now he played a Thalnos, so now I can play an Acolyte of Pain. And this threatens to basically gain a card by attacking his Thalnos. So it puts a lot of pressure on him to stop this, which means he might have to use a Keeper of the Grove to silence the Acolyte of Pain, maybe even use a spell to get rid of the Acolyte of Pain to only make us draw one card instead of multiple. That happens sometimes. He could also play Druid of the Claw and make it have charge and then attack the Acolyte of Pain so that we only get one card from it, but that's also a decent exchange for us. Yeah, so he's going with this spell option, playing Wrath to get rid of Acolyte of Pain because he's afraid that we're gonna draw Oh no. Never mind. Yeah, so he's choosing to deal 2 damage with it, and then trade with Thalnos. So we get 2 cards and he gets 1 card back. Still a good trade for us. And we're not overdrawing. We are at exactly 10 cards now. And this is once again great, because here we can just play the Fiery War Axe. This seems to be a very defensive druid build, which is perfect for us. Because it plays Earthen Ring Farseer. Typically, if you want to be an aggressive druid, you wouldn't play the Earthen Ring Farseer. Yeah, and then we just armor up, I suppose. We want to hit that button as much as we can. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, cards. So we're not going to be overdrawing. We don't have to worry about that.
Geralt, you are not fit to rule the
Plays Kieran Bloodhoof. So now there's a lot of options, but my gut says just play Sylvanas. If she dies, she could take control of the Kieran. So that's typically perfect.
What now?
Although I guess he has a Sylvanas as well, but I think that's still the play we go for. Just plays a Drake. Sometimes, yeah, maybe not applicable here, but sometimes you can kill your own Sylvanas just to make sure that she steals the thing that you want her to. Okay, this is a weird situation. So I think I want to play the Faceless Manipulator. Yeah. Just do
Let
this.
none survive.
Get rid of this. And get more armor once again. Keep the axe for now. We have the Gorehowl for later. I'm still not afraid of just suddenly dying, because we have enough health not to be worried about the Force of Nature Savage Roar combo that they can do when they reach 9 mana. But you can also get there earlier with Innervate sometimes. Although he already played one of the Innervates. So don't have to worry too much about that, I think. And if it is since it looks like a slower druid, typically it's hard for them to just race you down on damage. I don't even know if he is playing that combo. Maybe they still are. But if he... Okay, still goes for the Savage Roar.
Time waits for no one.
He has to trigger this Sylvanas right away. It's a bit strange. Maybe I figure he should attack first, but... Okay, so this is great. I think we want to play the Twilight Drake first to get maximum health from it. We play the Armor Smith.
Made to fit.
And pop the Karen. So he gets Bane.
All upon us.
And then we... Guess we trade like this. Do a slam here. And trade here. So now we are fully in control. We have Alexstrasza play for next turn to set his health to 15, and then he's almost dead. We can also coin to play Shield Slam if we want to. But we can actually keep the Shield Slam here to keep the option to use it on our own Grom. Yeah, I think we just Alexstrasza here, because it puts him in such a defensive position next turn, where he has to somehow clear the board and stop us from attacking with Grom. So putting a taunt minion on the board, or just healing a lot, but there's no really feasible way to do that, I think. You could play something crazy like Naturalize on the Alexstrasza or whatever.
I've got the beast.
Oh, Big Game Hunter works. Still, he needs a taunt minion or something if he's gonna not die next turn. So that's tricky.
Where shall I strike?
Yeah, there's the taunt minion. Alright. Maybe we did go too aggressive on the last turn. But still here... Yeah, this is still looking pretty great for us. Because I can shield block, shield slam the druid, trade, or not trade, just kill the lore, and we keep our Drake alive. Or even just Gorehowl, kill the druid, and then we're threatening to make the Grom play next turn again. That seems good. Rid of the lore. This just to stop any force of nature kills. And oh, actually, probably would have been good to play the other Twilight Drake this turn. But you live and you learn, right? Because we could have played that and then coined out the rest. Now we're keeping the coin, but I think maybe that was the best time to use the coin. Get the momentum of the second Twilight Drake right away. So there's a threat now of playing our Grom, shield slamming him, he gets to 10 attack, then we attack the hero and attack the hero with our Gorehowl, which puts that at, that's 16 damage. So that would be a kill. He's just drawing for cards, so he's digging for something. But yeah, I think this is looks like kind of a miserable matchup for the druid if you don't get your wild growth early, so that you can start playing your big minions earlier. Then the warrior gets the time to armor up. Yeah, he just decides to concede because he knows something is coming. Either Ragnaros or Grom. All right. Yeah, let's keep going with the warrior. And also, if people want to request a certain deck or whatever, I'll try to play it later. The plan for now is to play this control warrior a little bit, and then talk briefly about freeze mage as well. And that's probably gonna be enough games for today. Another druid. So let's see if this is a different build, if it's more conventional, because the super greedy druid is less common, I would say, where you just play a lot of big minions and you kind of try to bypass the early game with wild growth and innervates. So I'm gonna keep the shield slam again. Karen we're not keeping this, it's too long term of a card to have in your opener. Shield black block could be nice to combine the shield slam with. Acolyte is not that important, I guess. Yeah, it's tricky to mulligan against druid. Yeah, I'll try this. Because often you want the war axe in your hand, and you're maybe just spending most of your early turns just armoring up if they're not playing a lot of stuff. If they're playing a bunch of minions, then it's a different thing. Okay, this already looks... Yeah, right. This is the aggressive druid build. You play a loot hoarder. Because it replaces itself when it dies. And yeah, that makes it easier for you to dig for your Force of Nature combo. So you just have something you can play early on to deal some damage if they don't kill it. It's never really a loss of a card because the Death Rattle gives it back. So something you can put on the board and they sort of have to do something, and then you dig for your Force of Nature. This deck also plays Argent Squire typically, but that's something that he would have played turn 1 if he had it. More water. Alright, Power of the Wild to summon a Panther. Right, so the nice thing here is we can just get rid of this loot hoarder and get an armor. And the Panther, though, I would have to shield slam it, but I'm sort of fine with that against the aggressive druid style. To use a shield slam on that. And that also makes the second shield slam better. That's so he doesn't chip away at our armor. We've been kind of lucky with drawing the shield slams early too. So another loot hoarder. This one we can use Cruel Taskmaster on. And we're pretty firmly in control here. Ooh, that's nice. Use the Taskmaster to get rid of the loot hoarder. That's another thing I didn't mention about Taskmaster. It's also just a great defensive card. Like, you can just kill a minion that has 1 health, which is pretty common if you're facing aggressive decks. Apart from the fact that you can combine it with Execute. So one of the really nice things about the Control Warriors. The includes in your deck are so multi-purpose. I think that's really cool. Okay, so here we go. There's the Argent Squire and the Keeper of the Grove. So how do we deal with that? Well, we could get Karen on the board. Now, a Keeper of the Grove has already been used. So there's only one of those left in the deck. Yeah, I think we can keep the Shield Slam. Maybe coin out the Cairn. Because if Cairn survives, we can play Faceless Manipulator on him next turn, which would be really awesome. And in the meantime, I think we will get rid of the shield on this Argent Squire. Yeah. Because if we can copy this Cairn on our next turn, then we have the board so firmly in our control that we will definitely win the game, because we're not low enough on health to be worried about just being raised down on health. So that's perfect.
Where shall I strike?
That's not perfect, but that's okay. So, yeah, now we can copy Karen. Which is pretty great. It's too much value not to go for it right away.
Mother is near. For
And we have to start getting through these. So let's put some damage on him. Even though that means he can use Shapeshift to pop him, we don't care. We just want to trade right now because it's gonna end up in our favor with all these Karens. We have so much on the board. Using swipe. So he's trying to clean this board up. And it's not a terrible way of doing it. But still, we are very firmly on the board. So now we can Fiery War Axe, attack here, play Armorsmith, kill this. Yeah, he just concedes because we just have too much control on the board. Alright. Let's do another warrior game. The warrior is performing, and it looks like I have that weird bug again. Where the game just breaks, so I'm gonna have to close the game and restart it. But yeah, let's do one more control warrior game. And then I will embarrass myself by playing Freeze Mage that I just haven't learned how to play it. But we're gonna try to learn together. I mean, I know the concepts, but I just seem to make a lot of piloting mistakes when I play it. It's a pretty tricky deck to play, and it has some bad matchups. Control Warrior is one of those.
Only for classic games.
Yeah, it changed to standard for some reason. There we go. There is this weird bug sometimes when you get the rewards where the UI just stops working. Like you can't click any buttons, you just have to close the game and restart it. It happened on a previous stream.
versus Valera.
So we're up against Rogue. Usually Rogue decks are Miracle Rogue. Talked about that on that kind of deck in the last stream because I was playing it. And you have a pretty good chance as warrior in this matchup, I think, because the fact that you can gain basically health beyond your max health means it's really hard for the rogue to get to a point where they can just have enough burst damage to kill you in one turn, and that means you can clear up their threats and then just keep armoring up, and they seem to not be able to kill you because the Miracle Rogue relies on being able to eventually kill you with burst damage. So you're kind of just armoring up almost every single turn that you're able to. Like this turn, for example, I guess I'll just armor up. Because if they can't kill you with their Leroy combo, then they can't really do much to you. This turn I might armor up and equip the axe, I think. Seems good. Next turn we can shield block and armor up if he still doesn't do anything. Pointing out an Azure Drake. Alright, that's nice. We can get rid of it. Which I think we should.
Back to work.
We armor up again. So now the rogue is getting to the point where they can play auctioneer. Although if he had auctioneer, I think he would just save the coin, so you can play auctioneer on a later turn. Yes, as you can see, like he's not really doing much on the turn now. I think at this point we might as well put Cairn on the board to start applying some pressure. We can take one turn break from from armoring up. That's fine. So we get Cairn on the board. He's gonna start dealing damage. He can trade against minions that are played. Also makes Armor Smith better, because when we trade, we can gain armor.
My eyes are open.
Yeah, this so this is one of the problems with Miracle Rogue that you can run into. It's just not drawing your auctioneer, and then you're really left with like very inefficient plays. Like, it's easy for us to clean these minions up. But yeah, you want to attack first so that you lose health instead of armor, and then you gain the armor. So I'm gonna attack Farseer, then play the Armor Smith. Oh, I should actually play the shield block first, because I was intending to play it this turn anyway. Because whatever we draw, we might want to use, but that wasn't the case. So we'll attack, we'll gain an armor, and then we can armor up. So as you can see, yeah, we're just gaining more health, more and more health.
I got the best deals anyway.
Okay, now there's an auctioneer finally. So the only way we could get rid of this auctioneer is with Brawl. But because he gave it stealth, it's one of the things we can't really deal with. He gave it stealth, so Brawl can destroy all minions except one. But yeah, I guess that if I play that, it's kind of likely that we will be the one that gets to keep a minion. If that doesn't happen, it would really suck. If we do get rid of this auctioneer, then we're in a good spot. I could also play the big game hunter and then the brawl to give us 75% chance of success. But then we're also killing our own minions, so I'm not sure what's the best here. Oh. Yeah, I don't know.
Strike.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what to do. I think I can wait one turn. So we're gonna take at least 8 from the auctioneer. And some other stuff. We can... But I'm thinking maybe we can save the brawl for a turn. And force him to play his other conceal to try to keep the auctioneer alive. There's also the option of playing Baron Geddon. It deals 2 damage to all characters, so he would take 2, but that wouldn't kill him right away, and then probably the Baron Geddon dies, and then the only use of the damage would be if we draw a second Whirlwind, so we can play both of them to kill him off, and that's pretty unfeasible. Okay, he just attacks, so I guess he doesn't want to play another Cold Blood this turn. Play Sap. on the armor smith, interestingly.
Choose soon. We hunger for vengeance.
Right. So question if he's gonna play another conceal here. And he plays a huge blank cleave. And now he plays conceal? Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, so this turn we do want to play Brawl. And I think before we do, we want to play... We want to play a minion before we do. To increase the odds of one of our minions staying alive. But there are some really bad outcomes here. There are 3 good ones, 60%. Thalnos and our Armor Smith, those are all fine. Let's... And we attack before, I guess. Before playing the Brawl, and now we just pray. Karen's staying alive, that's... I think that's game for us. Pretty lucky, but I think that should be enough to seal the deal. But I don't know. Actually, we're pretty low on health, so let's not get too let's not get too cocky here. Yeah, we could still lose here. Actually, I need it. But wait, do we have a kill this turn? Attacking with this is 7, and Grom would be 10 more. So unfortunately, that's not enough. So I think we play something and we armor up. Probably play the Grom. He used most of the damage he has in his deck. Yeah, we play the Grom. Can trade here. Gain armor. And it's very possible he can kill us with Leroy combo next turn. Also attack here, because if he cleans up the Grom, then we can kill with Gorehowl and Bane next turn. It's looking like he has the kill. Yeah, Cold Blood here and double Shadow Step kills us. Yeah, I guess maybe I've considered this a favorable matchup before because people have not been playing it correctly. Because it's hard to deal with Conceal. You can't get rid of the... you can't get rid of the Auctioneer in a comfortable manner. You sort of have to hope that your Brawl hits the right thing. And that's not perfect. Okay. Still a good game. Yeah, if we had a shield block or something there, we could survive all of that damage. Maybe we should have played the Brawl earlier, but I don't think so. Yeah, let's move on to Freeze Mage. This is the one I'm not great at piloting it, but yeah. So the concept with Freeze Mage is you use spells to just to like delay your opponent from dealing damage to you, and in the meantime you're dealing direct damage to their hero. So the cards that you have to delay are cards like Frost Nova, freezes all enemy minions. Ice Barrier, that's a secret that gives you extra armor when you're attacked. ice block, maybe the most important one, that when your hero takes fatal damage, you prevent that damage and your hero becomes immune for the rest of the turn. So this sort of guarantees you will stay alive for one more turn. And you have Blizzard that can freeze all enemy minions as well and deal damage to them. And then you have Mirror Image that just summons 2 0/2 minions with taunt that can sort of block your opponent from attacking. And you can combine these freeze effects with Doomsayer that will kill all the minions at the start of your turn. So you can play Frost Nova, then Doomsayer, and then at the start of your turn, all minions will be destroyed if they don't deal with Doomsayer somehow. And they can't attack with the minions that they had because Frost Nova froze them. You can break out of freeze by silencing your own minion though, so that's a possibility, but then they might as well silence the Doomsayer, I guess. Yeah, and so a lot of the rest of the deck is like, so the kill part is you have Alexstrasza to set your opponent's hero to 15 health, and then from there it's pretty easy to kill them with burst damage. Alexstrasza can also be used to heal after your ice block triggers, because then you might even be at 1 health, and then you play Alexstrasza and you basically heal yourself 14 damage. But the most common way is you play Alexstrasza to set your opponent's hero to 15, and then you have a bunch of burst damage that can finish them off. You have Pyroblast that can deal 10, you have 2 Fireballs that deal 6 each, you have Frostbolt that deals 3 damage to something and freezes it, and the freezing part is important because you can follow this up with Ice Lance, so this can deal 4 damage to a frozen character for a very cheap price, so that's how you finish them off. You can combine all the spells with... Actually, this was a completely net-decked version of the deck, except for one thing. I caught one Asia Drake from Antonidas, because I'm used to playing Antonidas in this deck, and I just love the card, so how could you play Freeze Mage and not play this card? But maybe it's not correct to play him, but I love the card, and I think he has good synergy with your spells, so I'm still going to try him. So Antonidas, that gives you a Fireball when you play a spell. So one of these he gives you. And you have a bunch of cheap spells, so you can play the Antonidas, then play your other spells and get some Fireballs. And also you can do things like play Antonidas, then play Frost Nova, so they can't attack with their minions, and you get a Fireball, and the next turn you can like play 2 Fireballs or something. So I'm gonna try playing him. And the rest of the deck is basically just draw. So Thalnos gives extra spell power, but also draw. Loot Hoarder that we saw before gives draw when he dies. Acolyte of Pain gives draw when he takes damage. You can even use your hero power on him to draw cards. Arcane Intellect just draws you 2 cards. And then we have Asia Drake that draws you cards and gives extra spell power. So that's basically entire Freeze Mage deck. So let's give that a spin. I'm just going to take a brief break to go to the bathroom. So see you soon. All right, we are back with Freeze Mage. Let's see if I can finally learn how to play this deck. To me, it still seems like it's not that great of a deck, but it has some very good matchups, I think. There are others where it feels really hopeless, like playing against Warrior, where they just armor up so your Alexstrasza doesn't do much. But we're gonna try our best, no matter the matchup.
You asked for it. Oh, it is on.
Alright, another mage. Oftentimes it is freeze mage when you play on the ladder. So the two ice lances, we don't want them early. We kind of want draw, I think. Yeah, something that we can play turn 2, maybe a Loot Hoarder or something is good. Or a Doomsayer if we're up against... Although if this is another freeze mage, then I should probably have kept the ice lances. I don't know what mage it is. Because if it's another freeze mage, then the early game is pretty irrelevant. Yeah, it kind of seems like it is. I guess I'll just use hero power then. Because sometimes you can play the Doomsayer preemptively, so that if they do play minions, then those minions will die.
You like my invention?
So you kind of keep them from playing minions for a turn. But if it's another freeze mage, which I'm pretty sure it is now, because Novice Engineer is a very common freeze mage card, then yeah, then the Doomsayer will like kill a Novice Engineer that barely matters. That mostly just is played so that you get to draw a card. So we get maybe a bit of a favorable exchange here where we can attack this Engineer with our Acolyte and get a free draw. And the Acolyte will stay alive for later as well. So we start with that, get the draw. And I think after we want to use our mana to just draw more. Let me pass. So this is the mirror matchup. I'm interested in how that goes. Yeah, you may want to be careful about triggering ice barriers, because you're not actually aiming to attack a lot with minions. So if you give them 8 armor by attacking with an Acolyte of Pain, then probably at some point the Acolyte will die and they will just have gained 7 armor that you can't do anything about. Okay, so we have 2 mirror images, we have 9 cards in our hand. Yeah, we want to make sure that we don't overdraw. So pinging the Acolyte here will put us at 10. But then if we play a Loot Hoarder or something that replaces itself, it's killed. We go to 10 cards again. And then we will overdraw and potentially lose an important card like Alexstrasza. So that we want to avoid. So I'm just gonna play some minions and attack. I guess another thing I maybe should have done is just put the ice block on the board, but I'm not sure I'm in a hurry. I could probably do it next turn. Just establish the ice block, because you want it there at some point.
Mind if I roll need?
Alright, so he plays Loot Hoarder and Frost Nova. So I could play Blizzard to just clear the board. But that seems pretty unnecessary. I could just kill this with Fire Blast and then put the ice block on the board. And then our minions can clean up the images. Although, in this matchup, Blizzard seems like kind of a useless card. Yeah. So he's doing it now. Actually, he's gonna make us overdraw, I think. Yeah. So I should have played Blizzard. Fortunately, we lose a card that isn't that important, but that could have gone a lot worse. So I should have played the Blizzard, for sure. because all of the minions that we had on the board, they give us a card basically when they die, essentially. So
wonder.
yeah, I think we clean these images up by playing our Doomsayer. Too early to play Antonidas, I guess. So we can just put our secrets on the board. Ping the hero. Still, losing mirror image is not good. We could have used it with Antonidas to get a fireball into our hand. So it is already hurting us a little bit. Okay, so Doomsayer triggers. Okay, we get the other mirror image. So I guess we can play the Antonidas. So if this secret is mirror entity that copies a minion, this is really bad. But Freeze Mage like never plays it, so I'm just gonna assume it isn't. Okay, there we go. So we play the mirror image and we get a fireball. And now if this Antonidas is not killed, we will keep getting fireballs. So this should be a high priority for him to get rid of. At this point we're sort of waiting for just to draw Alexstrasza so we can lower the life. But yeah, so a fireball is being used to clean up this Antonidas. So how many cards do I have in hand? 5, 9? Yeah, this is one of the weirdest matchups because there are only a few cards that matter a lot. One of them is Alexstrasza, and we have not seen her yet.
I bring life.
So I think this is one of the most... So this is one of the most important cards in the matchup. Or probably the most important card. That where who gets to play this first basically decides the game. I'm gonna play Doomsayer to clean this up, I guess. Yeah, I'm wondering if I should play a Blizzard. Just because it doesn't have much use anywhere else.
I wonder.
Because if I draw a card like Arcane Intellect and want to draw cards, then I want to sort of free up space in my hand. That's how I'm thinking about it. Yeah, we got Pyroblast. Actually, at this point, maybe we'll use Alexstrasza defensively. Yeah, I'm trying to think about it. So we can deal 13 damage with these fireballs to him this turn. And then we can deal... How much is that? We can deal 11 and 12 with the Fire Blast. It's not enough. But if I draw the Alexstrasza next turn, I might use it on my hero? Or we just... Well, I mean, this card is probably Ice Block. Yeah, I think we just have to try to kill him, even if we don't actually have the ability to yet.
Job done.
Okay, yeah, this is only 10 damage plus 1 from the Fire Blast.
You require my assistance?
So he plays his own Antonidas. And he's gonna trigger the ice block. So that's well played. Yeah. So this is... There's no comfortable way to do this. We have to get rid of the Antonidas. He got 2 fireballs. Yeah, I don't think there's a way, but we'll just try. We have to get rid of this. And we also have to play the ice block or we die next turn. So the only way is unfortunately to expend our ice lands. And then we can we can heal ourselves with Alexstrasza if we draw her, but I don't think that's enough to survive. But yeah, here's the yes, okay. So using one of the fireballs. So we know there's one fireball. There's 2 fireballs left. And yeah, playing Doomsayer, that's also smart. In case we have Alexstrasza. But this is not enough damage. So I'll just kill myself.
Well played.
Alright. Let's keep trying to learn. So this is a tricky matchup. It's so slow that playing things on tempo doesn't matter that much. It's more about, yeah, you want to get Alexstrasza in, you want to establish an ice block. You don't want to lose cards to overdrawing like I did. If that didn't happen, we could maybe wait to turn 9 to play Antonidas and then play 2 mirror images at the same time and get 2 fireballs.
Jaina versus Gul'dan.
Your soul shall be mine.
You asked for
So
it.
again, against Warlock, I just assume that it is the aggressive Zoo Warlock. And for that, Doomsayer, Frostnova, Frostbolt are all good. Especially this combination of Doomsayer and Frostnova, because it means we can clear the board on turn 5. This may be one of the matchups that we are happy to see. But it could also be Handlock, which I think is also a good matchup because they have no way to prevent direct damage. So we can sort of just drag the game out and then eventually kill them with direct damage. Okay, so it looks like it is Handlock. I guess I'll play the Thalnos early. I think maybe last game I played it earlier than I should, because it could be nice to combine it with the damage spells later on. Okay, not much we can do, so we'll just attack. And yeah, against all the big giant, I think this is a good counter as well. You freeze all of their board, and then you play the Doomsayer. You can get rid of some really big minions that way if they don't have silence. Although they can play things like, what's that one called? It's like, I don't remember exactly, but it's like Steel Soul or something like that. This is just healing. Yeah, I want to save the coin for later. It could be useful for Antonidas.
If I roll knee.
So we'll go about it this way, I think. And again, I'm not sure if it's correct to spend the Frostbolt on this minion here. I'm sort of learning Freeze Mage as I'm playing it. But I feel like in this matchup, we should have enough burst damage later on regardless. So I can spend it on that. And this seems like a good time to play the Asia Druid.
Hey, give me that.
Question is if I should trade here. Seems like a decent idea. Because I'm thinking he could maybe attack the Asia Drag and play Hellfire. It's not the worst thing in the world, but
Hey,
yeah.
give me that.
So we're at 9 cards. So we will not be overdrawing.
Runs out on me.
That's what we gotta watch out for.
Shields up.
Okay. Just place Sunfear Protector. It's doesn't seem like this is the correct way to play Handlock. Just play the Ice Barrier.
Mind if I roll
I don't
knee?
have enough mana.
And I think that's enough. I think Mirror Image would be a waste right now. We can use it later to get Fireballs from Antonidas, for example. But I think kind of the window for the Handlock is closing here, because we have so many ways to delay for a turn. We have Blizzard, Frost Nova, we even have Mirror Image, and we have a Doomsaber that would have to be dealt with. That we probably will have enough direct damage to finish the game. But let's not call it game yet. Yeah, so we'll get rid of
Hey, give me
this.
that.
Let's just make sure I don't overdraw. We're at 9 cards, so it's okay.
Give me that.
And this could be a good time to play the Ice Block. And also this triggering the Ice Barrier is nice for us,
I wonder.
gaining the extra armor. Yeah, I think getting the Ice Block on the board is good. We'll do this one.
Time runs out on me.
So this is... I'm trying to incentivize him to put more minions on the board. But he doesn't want to. Oh, he does. Okay. Yes. So I'll try to go for this combo, but he can probably get rid of the Doomsayer. Because there is typically silence in these decks. You can play the Ironbeak Owl, which could silence the Mountain Giant and then have it attack Doomsayer. Okay, it looks like he just doesn't know what he's doing, because he just played the Defender of Argus despite the fact the board was about to get wiped. Or no, okay, I guess he played it because he didn't want to overdraw next turn. That makes more sense. So this turn. So we can play Fireball and Fire Blast to put him at 10, and then we're threatening to play Pyre Blast next turn. So then we force him to use his healing, which is good. So I think that's exactly what we want to do this turn. 10 is the magic number. So Handlock can play two things that get them to 15. You can play Alexstrasza. I think that's less common. And then there's Lord Jaraxxus, who can put you back at 15. Then you also have Earthen Ring Farseer to heal you. Now he's just playing all the minions.
My shield for Argus.
But none of them actually matter, because we can just play Pyroblast. Yeah, this would be okay if he just healed himself. But now we just Pyroblast for games. To the guy in chat, I'm sorry, I don't know. I don't speak French. French. Yeah, let's try one more. Keep learning. That seems like a really good matchup. But I'm not sure. I mean, there's a bunch of things, I guess. No, yeah, I'm exaggerating, because there are a few things in theory you can do. You can heal yourself with Jaraxxus, maybe Alexstrasza. You have Earthen Ring Farseer. You try to be careful about life tapping, and then you can use Silence to bypass Doomsayer. You can also use Silence to bypass freeze effects. So it shouldn't... There should be some more play than we saw in that game just now. I think we keep the Acolyte. That'll give us some draw. Maybe like we're so long term that maybe we keep the Alexstrasza because it's so important to have it on turn 9. I might actually keep it. Is it like the logic is so different playing a freeze mage. Do we mulligan the Aesir Drake? I guess so. There are a few things that would be more useful early. Doomsayer. Yeah, maybe this is too greedy, especially if it's an aggressive druid.
Hello.
My greetings.
We might be super duper punished here, but it's so far we're not. We just fire blast him. Yeah. Okay, so he's ramping. Not a lot of small minions early. Yeah, so we could play Acolyte here. Of course, there is Keeper of the Grove to stop the draw, so it might be better to just play Arcane Intellect.
What to do?
I think I'll do that.
Job's done.
So if we save the Acolyte for when we have 5 mana, we can potentially play it and ping it the same turn to get the draw. Yes, the Yeti. We could Fireball the Yeti. I don't know if that's advisable. Could be here. I'll try it. I want to buy some time. And I don't want to start using these yet, and this means I can play Acolyte next turn and then ping it for the extra draw, and then we probably get one more card out of it, and then we can start delaying with our freeze effects, something like that. So I'll try that. Go Acolyte, ping him, get a card.
Job's done.
We pass. We also have Flame Strike here to clean up a board. So if he puts a lot of stuff on the board here, we have the possibility to go Blizzard and then Flame Strike the turn after. And we also can delay for a long time with these Frost Novas. So for example, yeah, play Frost Nova and Loot Hoarder.
We hunger for vengeance.
Yeah, he goes for Thalnos and Wrath. So at least this is an even trade because he also gets a card back. And yeah, we gotta watch out for the Force of Nature threat. So the Force of Nature combo deals 14 damage, and with these two on the board, that's 6 more, plus they would have 2 extra attack, so that's 10 more. So he can deal 24 next turn. So he could actually kill us with Force of Nature combo if he has Innervate, Force of Nature, and Savage Roar. So we gotta be aware of that. One thing we can do is just play the Ice Barrier. That would protect us against that. And Ice Block too, I suppose.
What to do? What to do?
It seems good. I don't know if it is good, but it seems good. And then if he doesn't do it and just plays minions, then I will play Frost Nova, play the Loot Hoarders. And then when there's enough minions, we'll play Blizzard and Flame Strike. That's sort of the plan. So he's not going for the kill this turn. That's for sure. Yeah, he's putting more stuff on the board. Makes sense. So we have 4 or 5. We have 9 cards in hand. So if we put these and we spend this, there's no way we overdraw. We could also just get rid of Thalnos to prevent extra damage from swipes. Oh, that would actually make him lose a card. So that seems good. Because he's at 10 cards now.
Mind if I roll knee?
My hand is too full.
So he loses a Savage Roar. That's good to know that he only has maximum 1 Savage Roar.
Take heart, the Earth Mother is near.
Okay, he plays Cairn. That is one that we don't enjoy seeing that much. Because it's hard to get rid of. So we could play Asia Drake and Frost Nova. That will threaten a Flame Strike next turn, which would be of great value. Seems pretty good. So he's thinking. The ideal would be if he leaves the... Yeah, but he's playing it smart. You want to get rid of the Asia Drake.
Where shall I strike?
Oh, but this is nice. Thalnos plus Flame Strike is a nice thing. Now we also gotta consider Alexstrasza.
What to do? What to do?
Yeah, I'm not totally sure what's correct here, but let's try this.
Or upon us.
Because if I play Alexstrasza, he can probably pop our ice block with Savage Roar or something. And then we don't have enough burst damage to kill him right away. Doomsayer is cool. I can combine it with Blizzard. Although we have still not seen any Keeper of the Groves, so he would probably just silence the Doomsayer. Okay, he goes for Force of Nature.
Time waits for no one.
And Savage Roar. Okay, so he's just trying to put as much damage on us as possible. Let's try to... I'm not sure that this... Oh, it looks like this perfectly pops the ice block, so that's why he's going for it. Makes a lot of sense. And that puts us in a bad position. Because this makes me want to use Alexstrasza to heal ourselves, which we don't normally want to do. We know he doesn't have Savage Roar to play next turn. So if we play Alexstrasza,
What to do?
he can deal 8 damage, we'll have 7 left, and then he has to deal 7 more in some way. We've already seen 1 swipe being used, 1 Druid of the Claw. Yeah, I think it doesn't matter. We have to play Alexstrasza regardless, because if we don't, he will just hero power and attack us. So not much choice, unfortunately. So we don't have the mana to kill this Druid of the Claw, unfortunately. So we're in a weird position, a bad position. And it seems like he's playing it well. So he has some direct damage.
I must safeguard the land.
Yeah, nice. This is exactly lethal, so well played by him.
Well played.
Yeah, it's my problem with Frostmage. It's... Yeah, I can't seem to win a lot of games with it.
Well played.
Alright, let's try to get one more win with the deck. I would love to get one more win. But a lot of people are also experimenting with playing a kind of a different control mage style, where you're just playing Molten Giants and stuff like that. So when you get to low health, especially after Ice Block, you can just play some minions for free. You can heal yourself back up with Alexstrasza or whatever. And that seems interesting. And also you can play it in a control style where you're sort of just trying to get rid of all the threats your opponent puts on the board. And then you drag the game out so long that it goes to... Oh, whoops. That it goes to fatigue. So that's another way you can do it. If you want to play a really slow mage deck. But when I've tried that one didn't seem great either. So far... I personally feel like the tempo mage builds are better because they force the issue. Okay, we're up against Face Hunter, it looks like. Mirror Image maybe is good there. We don't care about the Icelands. Draw could be good. We don't need the Ice Block right away, I guess. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Greetings, traveler.
Hello.
And usually the hunters are face hunters, so they're just trying to deal a bunch of damage to your hero as quickly as possible. But actually he passed, he didn't play anything on turn 1, so that makes me wonder if it is a face hunter. Yeah, that's surprising. There are, of course, other types of hunter builds. So, could be one of those Is it called a Sunshine Hunter or something like that? Yeah, it looks like it. Where you play this starving buzzard. This kind of looks like a mistake though. Because it's pretty easy to clean up.
To my side.
And I think here is a good time for the Doomsayer. It will buy us a lot of time. Can get rid of the Timberwolf. It looks like he shouldn't be able to get through this to get rid of the Doomsayer. Unless he has silence. Yeah, so he just plays all of his burst damage. Makes sense. We are at 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cards. So 8, you know, Arcane Intellect puts us at 9. That's fine. And I'll play the Thanos. Yeah, we need the we might die too quickly if we don't get cards like Ice Barrier.
Get in there and fight, maggot.
Okay, now he's confusing me, because now suddenly this does look a lot like a Face Hunter. But I digress. Okay. So I could deal
What to do? What to do?
4, 8, 13 damage, 14 damage. Puts him at 15. Not enough to kill him next turn.
I wonder.
I don't think he can kill me next turn, so Flame Strike should keep us alive for a turn at least. So I think that's what I have to go for.
Runs out on me.
Not ideal. The good news is we're getting more mana, and the bad news is we are getting less life. Okay, so again, I can stay alive here by playing Blizzard and then Ice Block. So we go for it. Staying alive is good.
More souls.
Oh right, Face Hunter plays Flare, so we might just die this turn.
To my side.
Maybe we'll stay alive for one more turn though. He might have played the Flare on the wrong turn, because if he can't kill us this turn, then he shouldn't go for this. Okay. So now I don't think I can afford to attack his hero, because it could be an explosive trap and then we just take more damage. But what we can do is draw more cards. Alexstrasza is nice, means we can heal. And actually that could be perfect. If I Frostbolt this and attack here. Then I play the Ice Block. So we survive and then I can heal.
Time runs out on me.
And that's fine. So it's Explosive Trap. And we play the ice block. Mirror image. Okay, so he plays the bow and a secret. And we have to heal or we die to hero power next turn. Yeah, probably made some mistake here. Probably go for it. This could still be doable. So one way is to play Antonidas, Frostbolt, Ice Lance, that's 7 damage. That's not enough to kill next turn. We probably want to threaten to kill next turn. Oh, but this is really bad. This is really bad. I don't know why, but I didn't consider this option. Alright, we can still go for it. Just hope that there's not enough first damage. This will also stop him from attacking with the bow. I was thinking it's an explosive trap, and that's a difference of 6 damage there in terms of those results. Yeah. Thing is, I felt like the other option was too slow, just playing Antonidas and waiting. But maybe that was not too slow. If he has to attack, yeah, I don't know. If he has to attack with the Eaglehorn bow on the taunt minion, the weapon gets destroyed, and then he has to do the rest of the damage via burst damage. But that it seems like it should be doable for a face hunter. There's Leroy Jenkins, there's the hero power. We only had 13 life, so I felt like I had to force the issue to threaten lethal on the next turn. Giving him 2 more turns seemed like we would just lose. And of course with misdirection, it's a 50-50. We could also just hit the taunt minion. And then we have an okay chance of surviving next turn, I think.
You asked for it.
Yeah, alright, up against Shaman. So on the last stream I was playing a mid-range Shaman. And I think that one is pretty strong. But normally people seem to play more of an aggressive Shaman style when you play them here. So this one, I think you play no matter what in Shaman. Argent Squire is just such a good card. But the question is if you play things like Leper Gnome, or if you play more long-term stuff. So he just gets a totem, sort of signals that it's not the most aggressive Shaman. And if he doesn't have Earthshock on this Doomsayer, then probably we will get to clear the board with it. Oh, he can do this too. Just play Hex. Yeah. But that's also fine. Means he can't use Hex on something bigger like Antonidas or Alexstrasza later. So Acolyte of Pain is good here. Just get a card from it. And he uses Rockbiter too. Yeah. Yeah, so we can use Frostbolt to clean the Golem up. I'm wondering if that's worth it or no. Seems like it. We have a decent card advantage. So just slowing him down a bit, I think is fine. And if we can delay the game long enough to play Antonidas and get extra fireballs with the coin, it seems really nice. Maybe next turn is Fire Blast and Ice Barrier.
My shield for Argus.
Yeah, it's looking a lot more like the list that I was playing on the last stream, which I think is a list I really like. So we can get rid of the Divine Shield here, I figure. Yeah, let's do that, and then play the Ice Barrier. So if he attacks, he needs to attack to kill us anyway.
To North Red.
But this Divine Shield, or this Ice Barrier, essentially becomes an 8 healing 8 damage. Okay, so Argent Commander, that's a little less conventional, I think. So we can get rid of the Divine Shield here, and then we have Blizzard for next turn. And in the meantime, I guess Frost Nova to survive. Yeah, and I still want to keep the coin for Antonidas. Let's do that. Right, nice. Oh, Flame Strike is even better. That's a full clear. Yep, go for the full clear. And we can, next turn, maybe we can Antonidas, Ice Lance, maybe use the coin as well. Get some fireballs. For a Spirit to get 2 wounds. Ooh, there's also the option now to Thalnos and Blizzard. But that'll only clean up the wolves.
What to do? What to do?
Yeah, I feel like it's time for Antonidas now.
You require my assistance.
Or whatever it is they're saying. I have no idea. So 2 fireballs. Yeah, Flame Tongue, so now he can trade these for the Antonidas, I guess.
Tazdingo. Yes.
Oh, but he wants to keep one of the wolves. I think that's a mistake. If you're up against Freeze Mage that has so many ways to deal damage across the entire board, then you probably want to value your minions a little less. So we can Fire Blast this Asia Drake next turn to get rid of that. And we still have 1 Blizzard left in the deck, if I recall correctly. That would be a perfect draw here. He's playing Lightning Storm just to get rid of the Thalnos. It's pretty hardcore. Okay, interesting. Now there's a lot of branching options here.
to do.
So this,
What to
all the
do.
burst damage in the hand is... It's a lot. So it's not, I don't think it's time for it yet.
I wonder.
We could also just use a fireball on one of the Asia Drakes. So Fire Blast on the Asia, this one, fireball this. And then we play a Doomsayer. That seems really good.
Time runs out on you.
It's hard for him to get on the board then. And then we can also play the Loot Sorter here. To get more draw. Again, if Hex is spent on the Doomsayer, I'm sort of fine with that. But there's only one Hex left. And then the Alexstrasza could be used on his hero, potentially. And he already used a Rock Biter, so Alec here... Alec here is not that big of a concern. Okay, so we can deal 10, he will have 19 left. We're able to deal 12 more after that. I think we'll just draw this turn. 1, 2. Yeah, we draw more again. And we, I guess Ice Barrier. No, Ice Block. Yeah, Ice Block, Mirror Image. That's how we do it. So these protect against charge minions and this against burst damage.
The light protects me.
I really want that Alexstrasza. Could we get an Alexstrasza, please? There we go. Thank you. The game was listening.
I bring life.
But now we're threatening to kill next turn with double Fireball plus Frostbolt. And we have the Ice Block, so we should survive at least for this turn. So, so we can finally get the second Freeze Mage win. Unless he heals his hero. Yeah, he's just trading, so looks like he has no way to gain more life. Which just means we can Fireball here. Yep, and another Fireball. So Fireball, followed by Fireball, and then Frostbolt. It was a beautiful top deck. But you know, like, we haven't been drawing Alexstrasza that much when we needed her. She's always been in the bottom of the deck, so I felt we deserved this top deck. Alright. And yeah, I feel satisfied for the day. Talked about two very conventional decks today, so nothing very innovative, although the Warrior, I guess maybe I did some of my own tweaks. That's mostly what you do, but sometimes you can make a few choices that are unique in your deck building in Classic. Anyway, I'm gonna be back with more Hearthstone in the future, of course, but for today I'm done, so thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. And also keep in mind, when I'm doing these streams, you can request that I try to build a particular deck or that I play a particular deck, and I will try to accommodate that. Yeah, anyway, see you next time.